Okay, boys and girls, here we are. Which episode are we on?
This is episode 34. 34.
34, we think.
Yeah.
Mr. Rubio used to run the Running Warehouse podcast.
Off to a real strong start
Very
today.
Strong, incredibly strong. My cohort here is Connor Blaylock. I'm Joe Rubio, the guy who used to run, although I've been running about 4 days a week.
That's pretty
We
good.
had this May mileage thing, and that's off the rails, really, for someone like me.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay, well,
yeah.
We're just going to dive right in. We got a very big guest today. I'd say a multi-talented guest.
Oh, for sure.
Professional trail runner for North Face, but that's really just the start. She's got quite the credentials. Lake Sonoma 50-mile champ, runner-up in Pikes Peak Marathon, Broken Arrow 46K, and this list just keeps going. I look at your road background, 2:33 in the marathon, which you got at the Olympic trials.
13th, I believe.
13th place. Yeah. And then on top of all this, comedian, mother, amateur coin collector. This list just keeps going on and on.
Artist.
Yes. We've got Brittany Charboneau. Brittany, how are we doing today?
Thanks. I'm exhausted just listening to things about myself. But doing great. Yeah, really good.
Good.
Fantastic. And you're here from?
Denver, Colorado.
Denver, Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
And how long have you been there?
Born and raised.
Really?
Yeah. Yep.
Wow.
Lived other places. Lived abroad a couple times and studied and lived in Chicago when I was studying comedy. But then made my way back to Denver. So that's where I call home. Yeah.
Fantastic. So it was an easy flight.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was my baby's first flight. It was amazing. We got to sit in the cockpit and everything.
Oh, cool.
So it's great. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah. So we always start these things with, how did you start running? Because we're running podcasts and we like
Love
to know
it.
such things.
Love it.
Yeah.
So I started in middle school in 8th grade. So I coach a middle school team in Denver because I had such an amazing experience in middle school. I had just the best coaches. It was just fun. I had no idea what I was doing in running. They said, go run a mile. And I was like, I don't know how far a mile is. I have no idea what I'm doing. And just really enjoyed it. So started then and then ran through high school, was okay. I was on varsity, but I was nothing special. It was more social for me. It was just kind of my group of weirdos. I ran track, cross country, and then nerds.
Yeah.
I found my people.
Yeah.
It was great. Mm-hmm. And then went to college, but I didn't think that you could run. So I thought you had to be like a state champ to go to school for running. So I was just like, well, I'm done with running. I'll just run, I guess. But I didn't think you could be on the team. So I partied hard for the first couple of years.
Awesome.
Hard. And then walked on to the team, the cross country team at Colorado State University my junior year.
And that was Fort Collins?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yep. And ran my last 2 years and then started to get into marathoning after that, started chipping away at goals, and then really just started to develop into my professional career at the end of my 30s. So it's been a long time that I've been at it.
You're not unique in that. I mean, there's a lot of women right now, like Jess McCain and Kira D'Amato.
Yeah,
and
we're starting to
things
see
like
it more and more. And it's crazy because when I look at your stats, we see, when you first got started, you're in the 250 range for the marathon, and then you make this huge jump into the 230s. That's massive, and it was in a pretty short amount of time.
Yeah.
What do you think contributed to that huge, time reduction?
Yeah, I think it was a couple things. I got a coach at the time. Yeah. So I had a coach, which was obviously helpful. I'm a running coach, so that's a shameless plug for myself. But I got a coach, which was helpful because I didn't really know what I was doing. I was just getting training plans on halhigdon.com, just
Classic.
Online stuff. No idea what I was doing. So that was definitely helpful. Started working the dietitian, started strength training. But you know what? I think truly the biggest jump was I started to just believe that I could do it. So I ran a 2:52 at the Colorado Marathon, the Denver Colfax Marathon. And that was the first marathon I ever won. And it was 15 years after I started running. And I was like, oh, well, maybe I can do this. And maybe if I dedicate a little bit of more time to this, I could do something with it. So truly, I really do think it was a mindset shift on top of all the technical pieces of running, right? But I think really it was me just kind of believing that I could do it and giving myself a chance, truly.
I think a lot of it also has to do with training for a certain period of time.
Yeah.
you start gaining confidence, and that helps a lot. Because just thinking you're going to do it and not having the background in the training is not going to work.
Totally. And giving yourself time too. I think it was like, I gave myself a lot of time, and then the leap started to happen with the amount of time that I had under my belt, for sure.
Yeah.
It definitely was not an overnight.
No, but it probably helps that you didn't have that background where you have these expectations that I need to be there now.
Big
right?
time.
It's just like, it's happening.
Yeah.
It's fun.
And I loved it. Like, I still love it. And I think that's the big thing too, is I didn't have a dance mom where it was like, I'm getting pressured to go be an Olympian at age 14 or something like that. It was just like, just do what you love and then just start chipping away and just keep following the joy of it, instead of like being so pressured and burnt out, which I think is the sad part about some people nowadays. And with kids I'm coaching, I'm like, please don't get burnt out too early. Like, you can have a really long lifespan in running.
Let me send you an article that I have from Steve Magnus.
Amazing.
That was in the Wall Street Journal on this thing. It's it's very good. Just
Please send it to me.
From the standpoint of not having such a single-minded focus on stuff, that you put so much pressure on yourself that you, I guess, choke.
Yeah.
Because it means everything.
Yeah.
It's you.
Yep.
And if you don't do well, you're a failure.
Yeah.
It's not just you failed, you're a failure.
You were a failure.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'll send it over to
Okay,
you.
please.
Yeah.
That sounds great.
Yeah. Well, and then, so we go from partying in Colorado to now making this shift to full-time. And now we're on the starting line of the Olympic trials. Like, what is that like? Did you feel like you were supposed to be there, that you could compete with the best women in the world?
Yeah, I thought so. I ran the Marine Corps Marathon like the fall before, and it was dismal because it was that Marine Corps Marathon that was it was so rainy. It was thunder. It was awful. And I was just thinking, I'm miserable. I was trying to go for the course record that day. It was miserable. I felt like I needed to throw down a good race before trials, so that way I could be like, look at what
Was this 2019?
This is 2019.
Okay. Yeah.
Look, I can compete. I belong here. And I finally, like, before trials was just like, this is not how I want to go into trials. Yeah. Like, I just remember thinking, if this is my only time that I get to do this, like, what an amazing dream come true. I get to run in the Olympic trials. But what if this is my only time? I want to make it so fun, so worth it. So I felt like, I'm really proud of that race because I felt like I was so present that day, versus other races like Marine Corps that I went into it that it was just like, I had the outcome in mind, versus trials. It was like, I can do this. And I'm going to put myself like, why not me? Why couldn't I make the team? I didn't, but why couldn't I? And I think that's why I finished faster and was one of the few that PR'd that day. Wow. On that crazy course in the wind.
It was not an easy course.
No.
It was an Atlanta course, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That thing was not easy.
No. But yeah, so I don't know. I felt like that day, I've certainly had my bouts of imposter syndrome across the years after that. But that day was just like super special.
Yeah.
And then you got, how'd you make the transition into trails?
Yeah.
Was that the next thing, or was it
it was the next thing because...
Or was it the Tragic Kingdom stuff?
No, it was because of trials. So for training for trials, I just told myself I wanted to become a beast on hills. So I just trained on so many hills because the course was so hilly. So so trials in 2020 were on February 29th. A week later, the world shut down. And I remember thinking, okay, I finished 13th in the Olympic trials, so I'm going to run New York in the fall or Chicago. And then I had kind of my next few years mapped out in my brain of like, I'm going to go crush these road marathons. And I know what my running is going to look like because I want to make the team in 2024. And then the world shut down, so there's no races. So then but I heard about these things called FKTs. Yeah. And of course, in Colorado, they're everywhere. But I didn't know what they were. So like, I was just like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, so I just started to jump on the trails and started to go after some FKTs and did well and had a good season. Won Pikes Peak that year. So it was just kind of like organic and natural again. Like, I felt like I was just chasing joy and just chasing like, I don't know what I'm doing. I like this. Like, running up these mountains is fun. It's kind of like running on hills for trials.
Right.
So, yeah.
Well, you had the mileage, some of the speed leading into the marathon. Yeah. Then you go into the trails, you build all this strength. And it seemed like, a couple years later, I was looking at your results. 2022 seemed like it was your year. Like you're just winning races one after another. Was that probably like, what was so special about that year that were you just running a lot? Were you racing a lot?
I'm trying to think of what even was in 2022.
A lot of races in Moab I saw.
Oh yeah.
Is that a favorite?
Big fan of Moab races. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, because 2021 I won Pikes Peak. I was second at nationals in Moab, and then went back to Moab that next spring and ran some more races there, and then think Broken Arrow.
Yep.
Something like that. I don't know. Truly, like I feel like I just like
one after another.
Yeah, like it's pretty random, and it's just like whatever I'm feeling. And honestly, my mileage isn't quite as high as people think.
Really?
Like I'm kind of in the like when I'm in like training, I kind of hang in the 80, 90s.
Solid.
Even for 50Ks on trail. I'm not really known as a super high mileage runner. But yeah, just strength and just honestly. This sounds so like cliche, but I just follow my joy and I'm like, oh, I love this. I'm just going to keep doing that.
Yeah. And there's times when your body just clicks.
Yeah.
There's no accounting for it.
Yeah.
You just take your cookies when they're passed and just
yeah.
happy as hell that you're feeling great on everything.
Take it. Yep.
Yeah. Because it's not always like that.
Uh-huh. Yeah. No, it's not.
Yeah.
When you say 80 to 90 miles a week's not a lot. That is definitely plenty.
Sure.
Especially if you're doing the right speed workouts and all the little things. But it's also a lot of miles and a lot of time to find stuff on the roads, on the trails.
Yeah.
Is this? I know you like to look for the coins, and I feel like this is a common trend. We've had a couple runners on.
Really?
And some old timers who big coin collectors.
Stop! I have to figure out who these people are.
I can introduce you to some.
Please.
So there's like Gary Finelli, who's a brother of a friend of mine, and he posts regularly about how much money he's found.
What?
Gary Tuttle,
Bill Scobie,
Vince Engel.
used to look for oil rags on his run, and he would sell the oil rags after.
What?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Well, Tuttle was going by an elementary school, and he saw a quarter on the other side of the fence, and he was trying to climb underneath there, and the police arrested him because they thought he was alleged. Yeah. So.
Okay, I can relate. So on my runs. So first of all, I love this.
Yeah.
I love that I'm lumped into respectfully a group of old men picking up change. Classic. Like that's so on brand. Love that. I recently, so yes, I pick up change on my runs. I've looked for pennies. I find pennies. And I will also pick up quarters, nickels, and dimes. Anything I can find in that realm on my runs. But recently, the hot spot, which I shouldn't really admit this.
You don't want to give away.
No, but the hot spots are in people's driveways. So, like, yesterday I was out pushing the stroller, and there was, like, a mother load on somebody's driveway. So I parked the stroller really fast, and I, like, looked around, sprinted up, grabbed the change out of this person's driveway, took it, and then I was like, but is this unethical? Like, am I stealing? But I think if it's there, they don't want it.
No, they don't want it.
And it's going to a better home.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's crazy the stuff you can find. I mean, we had a worker here one day come back from a lunch run, and he had $100 bill and a couple tens.
What?
And I said, "Where'd you get that?" He said, "I found it on the run. It was just all on the ground." And he said, "The $100 bill has blood on it. I don't know what happened." Not gonna ask any
questions. It's a robbery gone bad.
Okay, I'm gonna run here.
Yeah.
I'll keep my eye out for blood money.
Yeah, and so you've got all these coins. Do you store them? Are you like an actual collector? Do you look for like certain dates?
Yeah. I mean, it's
like
the whole
Indian
thing.
Heads
Yeah.
What's that called? It's
weirdo.
No, there's an actual name. It's like I'll look it up.
Ask my old men friends. We'll start a club. I collect it all.
Okay.
I pick up everything. I love finding old stuff. I have a massive bin. I collect coins from all the different countries.
That's awesome.
2020, when we had just heaps of time on our hands, I sorted all of my change.
That's great.
It took me 16 hours, and I sorted it by decade. It was the most useless activity, but that was my COVID activity, which brought me a lot of joy. Yeah, it was great. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Is there any other weird quirks that you have on run?
Oh my gosh. Well, I channel characters. I love wearing costumes on runs.
Okay.
So that's a big one.
Can I just pause real quick?
Yeah.
So Gary Finelli, who is a avid change collector on the run, he also is very well known for dressing up. I
Like
think
the
he's
Blues
got
Brothers
Blues
and
Brothers.
Marathoners and New York Marathon.
Yeah.
Yeah, look him up. He's
Oh my gosh, I feel
yeah.
like we should be
Go
You
friends.
guys should be friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ghostbusters, all
Yeah,
kinds of
he
stuff.
does
Like,
it all.
Okay.
You two are like, yeah,
Oh, I gotta look
on the
this
same
guy up.
wavelength.
100% again. Channeling my old. I think I'm an old man at heart.
exactly.
And these costumes though that you dress up as, you do this at the Disney marathons. Is that kind of one of the go-to places?
Yeah, if I can. Well, so Disney, yes, because that's obviously like the mecca of costumed weirdos, and I mean that like very lovingly.
Yeah.
But also if I can get away with it, because I'm sponsored by the North Face. But I have to be on brand. I have to wear a gear, but I am known for pushing the limits a little bit on what's allowed. So I am known to decorate my own outfits. For example, one of the Moab races was the Red Hot 55K. So I was channeling Taco Bell on that race. So I pinned hot sauce packets, Taco Bell hot sauce packets on my North Face pack. And I was like, there's nothing in my contract that says I can't have Taco Bell hot sauce packets
well, I
on
hope
there.
you didn't eat Taco Bell before the
No, after. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. For Devil on the Divide race a couple years ago, I wore my North Face stuff, but then I had devil wings and devil horns and a devil tail.
Wow.
Because I think that's more fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, totally.
Yeah.
And then, so with these Disney races, I know you became known as like the first person to win all 4 races in the Dopey Challenge.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like it's like horse racing.
Right.
You won
Totally.
Preakness and Kentucky Derby and
You basically
Yeah.
did it
Yes.
all.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love that.
And what are these Disney races? Because I didn't really know.
Oh.
I've heard of them, but I didn't know it's a thing.
Oh.
Is it awesome?
Oh, it's a thing.
It's a thing.
Like, it is a thing.
Okay.
A whole subset of like
Wow.
it's a culture.
culture. Yes. And I'm part of this culture. They are the most fun races. So there's different races throughout the year. The biggest is the marathon weekend, first part of January. That's where they have the Dopey Challenge, which is the 5K, 10K, half marathon, full marathon across 4 days. Wow. All the races start at 4 or 5 a.m. And you run through the parks.
Wow.
And you run in costume, and it's all about. So they don't pay out elites. They don't recruit elites. It's really is just kind of the joy of Disney and the whole experience. So I think you've got like 7 or 8 hours to finish. People often ride the rides, get margaritas along the way.
Along the way.
Oh yeah.
So you can just stop on the Matterhorn and
Yes.
wow.
People stop. So there's character stops also. So you run. And you then take pictures with the characters on course, and then you keep running. That's kind of the vibe. I didn't when I won Dopey. I waved at all the characters because I was obviously trying to win it. But it's so fun, truly. Like it's such a memorable experience. So if like there's something to add to your running bucket list, add the Disney races. Yeah.
That is so not on my radar.
Really?
No.
Oh, you'd love it.
You would.
No, I wouldn't love
he
it.
don't think?
He acts like he would, but once he gets in it, he would love it. I
Truly.
know you would.
So my friend Matt, he was a really good runner. Like he got second to Ed Eystone at the Stanford Invite cross country one year.
Wow.
So he's pretty good.
Yeah.
He was head of marketing at Disneyland for a number of years, and he had 3 different wives from Disneyland, and they were all Snow Whites.
Stop.
Yes, he had a thing about Snow White. Marrying and divorcing Snow White. So
This is amazing.
yeah, he sang he sang the national anthem at the Angels game, and he would knock it out of the park at karaoke.
Wow.
Guy could sing.
Oh, I love
That's
this.
how you get Snow White.
That is, I guess, how you get Snow White. I wonder if he just like that was his if he was on like a dating app now, it would be like only Snow White.
Only Snow White.
Only sneaking
Hopefully he's
Snow
not
White.
listening to
but
this.
I feel like he doesn't have a good track record with. Maybe he should go for
Cinderella. Go
He's
for
like-
Moana.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
totally.
like the Charlie Sheen of
Oh,
Disney.
God.
But
I can't wait for him to hear that.
All right. So, okay, you've had
Back to
you've
reality
had
here.
success here on the roads. We talked about the trails, and we've got a lot of. I mean, this building is very trail heavy. We've got a lot of. One of our lead buyers is running Cocodona.
she
or
just
finished.
done. I mean,
Really?
she started like last week.
Yeah. And,
I don't know.
Wow. And she finished it.
She
She just finished it.
Wow.
Just a little while ago.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
She started Wednesday,
That's
and
amazing.
it's Friday.
Yeah.
I don't. get.
And she'll be back at work in a day or two.
That's insane.
What's your distance? What's your preferred distance or your best distance?
Favorite distance is 50K.
50K?
Yeah,
Okay.
around that distance.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Have you ever done Western States or any of that kind of crazy stuff?
No desire.
What's
Okay,
the furthest?
50 miles.
50 miles. That's where you draw the line.
Yeah, I did Lake Sonoma in 2022, and then I did Worlds. That was a 50-miler in Thailand.
Wow.
Almost all my toenails fell off, and I was like, nope, this isn't for me.
Yeah.
I just don't have the desire or right now.
Yeah.
Like I'll never say never, but right now I'm like, I just don't have the desire to like run that long. The longest was 9.5 hours. And it's just as like, and I love running. It's just too much for me. It's too long.
And
I have a 2-hour limit for me.
These 200-mile races now,
absurd.
250. I feel like we get to a point where it's like, that can't be good for your body.
Right?
Right.
Like, and that's too much time with my own thoughts. I think that was the problem for me with the 50-mile and 50-mile training. It was just way too much time with myself that I was like, I don't feel like this is good for me. So I'm going to stick with the shorter stuff right now.
But 50, it's still a good distance, and a lot can go wrong in that time. Have you had any tough experiences?
Yeah.
Had any rough battles with falls, or just mentally just feel like you couldn't get through it?
Oh God, of course. Yeah. No big, knock on wood, but no big falls or anything like that. My worst was at Worlds in 2023 in Austria. Again, I got so in my head. I was just, all I was thinking about was the outcome. And it was just a tough race. I was in like 20th and I was like, in my head, I was going to win it, all this stuff. So I just got so in my head that I basically hyperventilated, had a panic attack. It was on my birthday. I got to the aid station. It was let's call it a 26-mile race, whatever. Got to the aid station at mile 22, had a panic attack. It started manifesting in my belly button, which was weird. So they were really worried about that. So the only way to get out of that aid station was via helicopter.
No way.
Yeah, so it sucked. So I get airlifted off the course on my birthday, taken to this Austrian hospital, get in there, and I'm in my USA gear. I'm sweaty. I've got dirt all over me. I'm just like sobbing. They're laughing at me and making fun of me in German, the doctors. And I was like, this is the worst day of my life. This is the worst birthday of my whole life. And it was all just because I was just like so in my head, and it just like, I just couldn't get my together.
Yeah.
Oops, sorry.
That's okay.
Can we bleep
Yeah.
that?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, good.
Joe
So-
said much worse.
I'm sure. Yeah. So that was, I've had some rough ones.
But everyone has.
Everyone has.
Looking back at that now, is it? Can you see the humor in it now, or does?
Oh my God. Okay, so Grayson Murphy won Worlds. I think she won Worlds that year. Whatever.
Yeah. She's awesome.
So awesome. Love her. So I said something. I don't know why this happened. I said something like talking about how it happened, and I was like, yeah, I had like weird pain in my belly button. She's like, that happened to my cat once. And I was like, cool, Grayson. Thanks. So then it turned to a big joke about I was like pregnant with kittens or something. I made a piece of weird art about it.
Wow.
Yeah, it was rough.
Yeah.
But we've all had it. And I think like looking back, it is funny. And I tell people too, I always tell my middle schoolers too, like, because they get so anxious about their races.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I promise you, nobody cares. Because in that moment, I was like,
nobody
everybody's
cares.
watching this World Mountain Championship, which nobody even knows that that's a thing. And I'm having a terrible day, but nobody knows, nobody cares.
Yeah.
I promise. And so that was, I think, a big takeaway from that experience was you build it up so much in your head, how much you think people are going to care how you do in races, and they don't. They don't care.
This happens. So I teach people to golf. And when they first come out, they're really self-conscious that everyone's looking at me.
Yep.
No one
Nope.
gives.
No.
No one cares.
Nobody
They're worried
cares.
about themselves.
Yep.
They just want you to follow the etiquette,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Just do the right thing and everyone's fine, right?
Yeah.
But no one cares what your swing looks like.
No.
No one cares. No one.
No.
Same thing in running.
Yeah.
They don't.
Right?
Truly.
Unless you're really at the highest level and you're on TV and it's a big deal, right? It's Olympic final, stuff like that. Yeah, sometimes people care, but
And then
generally
people-
speaking,
People forget about it.
Yeah.
Tell us like what happened in the Olympics. Like, we can tell some
yeah.
highlights.
Who
and
got
we can tell.
second in the women's 100?
Yeah, nobody knows.
Nobody knows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wasn't it Shikari? Didn't she get second?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, that example. But
Anyway,
yeah.
just because I'm a big fan of hers, because my mantra right now is I'm not back, I'm better, which was her mantra, and I love it because I'm like, I don't feel like I'm coming back as a mom. I'm coming back better than I ever was. So there's where that goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you will be better.
It feels like it already.
Like every woman I know that's had kids comes back
Crushing
better.
it. Yeah.
Crushing it.
Yeah.
So you're going to be better.
Thanks.
Yes.
I hope so. Yeah.
For sure. The artist portion of you.
Oh, jeez.
Yes. Is this
Self-proclaimed.
Okay. I know you have it on your website.
Yeah.
And are sales fantastic?
No.
No.
This is self-promotion. This
Is
is
it?
also like, okay, so to the listener, I make weird art. And
like the cats.
like the pregnant cats.
The pregnant cats.
Yeah, like weird art. So I do digital collage. And it's basically just bringing to life what's inside of my brain.
Mm-hmm.
So I think,
That explains it.
yeah, I should say that. I don't think it makes a lot of sense. Like there's some weird things. My business cards, for example, one week during training, I channeled Bob Seger because Bob Seger's the man.
Uh-huh.
Again, I feel like I'm like an old man at heart.
You know, he ran cross country.
And he's just like, yeah, I know. There's a song about it.
Yeah,
He
against
sings
the
about
wind.
it.
Yeah.
It's so good. One of my favorite songs on my marathon playlist is Her Strut.
Yeah.
Everybody put that
I
on your
was just
playlist.
listening to that at lunch today.
Dude.
Love it.
Are you kidding? Night Moves? Get out of here. Anyway, I make weird
This guy
art.
doesn't even know who we're talking
Yeah,
about.
he's laughing like he knows.
Yeah, he doesn't
We should
know.
just call this the Old Man Podcast.
I'm just going to walk
We'll
out.
just
You guys
have-
can finish this
yeah,
on your own.
let's talk about Dateline next.
Yes.
So I make weird art. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And no, it doesn't get purchased, but I make it for my soul.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and then like, do you find that this like the comedy and the art kind of intertwine a little bit?
I think so, because I think it's not intentional that like I'm not trying to make funny art. I'm just trying to make what's inside of my brain and what I feel like makes sense. And it doesn't like it turns out it's like people are like, what are we looking at here? But it's fun. Like it's like, and I started it because I was in 2020 or leading up to trials, I was channeling. So I had a different character or person that I was learning about and channeling leading up to trials. Mm-hmm. And at the end of each week, I would make a piece of art, kind of that like recapped my training or that person or what was inspiring. Like I had Julia Child. So I had her running with a stick of butter. I had Dolly Parton and I like weird Frankensteined her body together as if she was running and like what she would look like if she was running. So it kind of started from that, and then it has just snowballed from there. But my poor husband, we share an office in our house, and half of the office is my portion that's hot pink and all of my weird art that he gets to look at and all the things. So
He's
yeah.
a patient man.
He's understatement. Yeah.
Well, the next thing I want to go into is what gets me excited is the comedy portion of your career.
Yeah.
And I know we had a little discussion. You are strictly improv. I'm more of a stand-up guy, but tell the fans how those two differ, and like, would you ever go the stand-up route, or is it just two very different things?
I'm glad you asked, because people always assume they hear comedy and they just assume stand-up, which makes sense. So my background is in improv and sketch comedy. So improv is, I always tell people, think about whose line is it anyway? That's one style of improv. Sketch comedy is Saturday Night Live. Yep. That's sketch comedy. And then stand-up, of course, is stand-up. I have zero desire to go into stand-up. It's terrifying. I do keynote speeches, but I feel like I put that in a bucket of speeches. So there's like some humor in there, but I don't have to go on stage and try to be funny or make jokes on purpose. Improv and sketch, you get other people. So I feel like it's more collaborative. You get to lean on each other. It's not all on you if it's rough, if there's a rough show, and there's a lot of rough shows in improv. But yeah, and that's how I bring all of that into my running. And that's kind of like how those tools that I learned in improv are how I approach running and how I try to stay present in running.
Right.
Are a lot of the foundational like techniques and pieces of improv.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, because I imagine you're always adapting in improv. You have to take in what is thrown at and come back and in running that happens.
It's exact same.
Wild cards always, injuries, things happen in races, and you just have to be able to adapt it.
You have to, and especially on trail, right? Like,
Right.
I mean, yesterday I was on my run climbing Big Peak in Boulder, and I'd never been on that trail before, and I didn't know what I was getting to. I had a thought of how I was going to run it, and just based on like what I'd seen on all trails, and you have to adapt because it was like, I don't know where the route goes, and there's giant boulders here, and I don't want to crack my nails, and like all the things. So it does. It like the more adaptable you can be in anything, you're just kind of setting yourself up for better success and fun.
And what would like Curb Your Enthusiasm or Seinfeld? What kind of comedy is that? Is that just a comedy show?
It's just like sitcom.
Sitcom?
Yes.
Okay.
Like, I mean, probably just brilliance. It's like just overall brilliance. But I don't know. Yeah, that probably like,
Because you get a chance to redo it. It's not like
right.
yeah,
exactly. Improv, it's live.
in it.
You're in it. It's there. And then, but that's the beauty of it too. Is again, just like in racing, when it's like you're in it and you think people are going to care. There are some. I mean, I think I've had more bad shows than I've had good ones, and people forget. Nobody cares. And so one of the mantras, or one of the like biggest techniques that I learned from improv that was really helpful in running, is we would always say, however long your set was, so however long you were on stage, that's how long you have to feel bad about it afterwards, and then you have to let it go. So if you had a terrible 10-minute show, you have 10 minutes to just be the worst person and just like write off improv for the rest of your life and hate it and tell yourself how bad you are. And then after 10 minutes, you get over it and you get back on stage. And so same thing with running. Like if you've got a bad race, give yourself that 4-hour marathon. You got 4 hours. Throw yourself the world's biggest pity party and then get over it. And that helped. I DNF'd at the Boston Marathon in 2019 or 2021. It was when it was in the fall. And I mean, I feel like I gave myself a little more leeway I probably threw like a 6-hour pity party that day. But then I had to get over it. You have to get over it. Like there's always more races. There's always more shows, like you just got to get back out there.
Yeah. Do you normally train in Boulder?
Often, yeah. Now that I'm training for the Broken Arrow Ascent, which I'm like, was this a good idea? Probably not. I've never done a VK.
How does that differ from the 46K?
Oh, it's straight uphill. It's 5K uphill.
So it's
it's insane, and it's a world qualifier. So why am I doing that 3 months postpartum? I don't know. But Boulder's really close. So I get to go hit the steep stuff out there, and it's really close to where we are in Denver.
Yeah, I was talking with Colleen Quigley yesterday.
Oh, amazing.
And she's in Boulder.
Is she?
Yes.
Did she just move there?
She's been there for a couple weeks.
There.
Yeah, she's
been floating around.
Yeah.
Okay,
No,
I thought so.
Yeah, but she's got a training group that's formed there and stuff like that.
Oh, awesome.
So she said she likes Boulder way better than Flagstaff.
Ah, interesting.
Just because, I mean, she lives in Venice.
Okay.
So she's that kind of person.
Got it.
And that kind of stuff doesn't exist in... That kind of stuff does not exist.
Things you can say on an old man podcast.
Right.
So good.
Flagstaff, it's not... There's nothing to do.
I've never been there.
Yeah.
Yeah. But except all the runners, you know.
But Boulder, if you're living in Boulder, you get Denver nearby.
You have so much nearby.
There's so much stuff to do.
Yeah.
Is that where you do most of your comedy is in Denver area? Or
Well, I'm not really performing anymore. So I was performing a lot pre-pandemic. I was teaching improv. I had my own show.
Yeah.
But it just, and then a lot of the theaters got shut down. I kind of just got more into training and running. And
Gotcha.
I mean, they don't really complement each other very well in terms of lifestyle. The comedy shoys are late night, and running is
go to bed before these shows start.
Yeah. And I'm an old man, so I go to bed at 8 because after Dateline I go to bed. So I haven't performed that much in a while.
But maybe the characters, do they come out a little bit in your running? Does Diane Washing Machine ever make the starting line?
Oh my God, you went down a rabbit hole. I forgot about Diane Washing Machine.
Diane Washing Machine.
She was a vibe.
She's got good moves.
I should bring her back.
Please.
I can't believe you went down that rabbit hole. Outstanding.
He goes down rabbit holes.
I'm going to 100% have to bring her back. Oh, God. I do channel characters on my runs.
Maybe Dirt Circus tomorrow is the return.
Dude, that would be so... I'd have to really embellish my North Face outfit for that to happen. But there's nothing in my contract that says I can't run in wigs or in character. So, yeah.
I like it.
How long have you been with North Face?
This is my 5th year.
Yeah.
5th year on the team.
Their new stuff is really good.
Yeah, I've been really impressed with the evolution of everything they've been coming out with, and their head office is in downtown Denver.
Yeah.
So I'm like 10 minutes north. So it's really fun to get to see what they're doing, and what's coming out, and just where their minds are going with everything, because I feel like it's like really supporting
Actually,
the
that's
runners. Oh, all triangles. Yeah.
Have you been there?
Yeah. In France.
Yeah, in Annecy.
Yeah.
So
amazing.
I went there. Well, I went with Ken Taylor from North Face.
Cool.
So he took me we went to Annecy, and then we went to Chamonix.
Oh.
Then we did UTMB. I did not run it.
We
just
went. UTMB?
No.
Somebody who doesn't run.
No.
He eats pasta and judges people running by.
That's what I do.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
So good.
Have you been there?
No.
Tell North Face to take you, because
that's my plan. I'm running Kodiak in the fall to hopefully get there for next year.
They have to have a distance you can do. They have stupid uphill
I don't want to do the uphills. No, this is like a one-time thing.
Oh, okay.
This is a postpartum choice. And
you
want
to be the one eating the pasta, judging people.
100%.
Yeah.
I want to get my race done, eat pasta, and judge people. Yeah.
It's perfect spot for that.
Right.
It is fantastic. It is.
It's on my bucket list.
Yeah.
I'm shocked I haven't been there yet, but that's on my dream list.
Just in terms of the energy.
Yeah.
And I mean, people out there at 3 a.m. with flares and bells and screaming and carting these gigantic speakers up these mountain hills.
Okay, so I'm telling you, you're describing this, and minus the giant hills, this is Disney. These are the Disney races.
I was going to say, is this like your first couple years at Colorado State?
I guess.
Oh, God. Yeah, except like, what do I remember? Oh, dude. Yeah.
Hey, that's how things can get at UTMB sometimes.
Exactly. Now, my daughter she's competing at Chico, and she's a pole vaulter, and she's number 22 on the national list. They take 22 to nationals, and it's in Colorado State, Pueblo.
Oh, okay.
That's what I was asking him earlier. I said, which one did she go to? Did she go to Pueblo or did she go to
Fort Collins?
Fort Collins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not too far still.
No.
Like, that's only like
I'm
a couple
going to
hours.
fly into, if she makes it, fly into Denver and drive down.
Awesome.
Like a couple hours.
You'll have to go to Pikes Peak or
Sure.
do the Manitou Incline.
No, I'm not doing that.
Well, I mean, you should think about it because it's really cool. You could carry your speaker up. You could judge a lot of people on the Manitou Incline.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that'd
You'd
be good.
love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's great.
Do they have pasta?
Bring your own.
Okay.
BYOP. Yeah.
Bring your own bottle of red wine.
Yeah.
Yeah. And burrata.
Right.
Yeah, and pesto, all that kind of
I hear
stuff.
you guys got really good wine out here.
We do.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to
Yeah.
make that happen this weekend.
Yes.
For sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
Make some
you're not going to be able to
recommendations.
hit it all because there's you can go out to Paso, you can go down.
But actually, the one we're going to tomorrow is beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
You'll
Oh,
like
that's
it.
where it's starting.
Yeah.
The Dirt Circus run is starting from
A
there.
winery.
Oh.
And
So
it-
for the
Great.
listeners, Dirt Circus, it's a big running warehouse event we're doing right now where
Ultra Sign Up.
yeah, the whole community
North Face,
comes out and
yeah.
we run trails.
Ugh,
Not an official race, but
No, it's fun.
you'll probably be leading the charge.
Well, I hope to just I love these community events because I just get to mingle. I just like to mingle. So it's more fun. I used to be, when I very first started, I used to be that guy that would show up and just rock everyone and then just wait at the end. And I was like, nobody likes that person. And then you just get to mingle and then chat with everybody and see who likes Bob Seger.
Well, you got one guy here.
There'll be plenty of those type there.
Well, it's hard to find these people.
We'll go hang out outside nursing homes. Those are our people. They're
See,
just listening to Bob Seger.
Yeah, you get two guys from Detroit. You got Bob Seger from my generation.
Okay.
And you got Eminem.
Oh my
Eminem,
God,
yeah.
don't even start. There's a piece of weird art that I made because 1 week was my Eminem week
Really?
during
You had a
training.
phase or
It's not a phase, it's a lifestyle. Eminem's a lifestyle.
Yeah, I feel you.
And he was on a starting line. This piece of art exists on my website. He's on the starting line. One hand is in a pile of M&Ms,
Yeah.
obviously. The other hand is in a pile of mom's
Mom's
spaghetti.
spaghetti.
BYOP. Yeah.
I'm surprised you don't live in Detroit.
I couldn't live in Detroit.
No, I
No
couldn't either.
offense. No offense. Yeah, I'll just be a big fan of the people from there. And Dax Shepard, he's one of my favorite podcasters. No offense. And
We're number two.
Number two. He's also from Detroit.
Really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, he's from Michigan. But yeah.
And then you spent time in Chicago, you said.
Yeah, I lived there for 2 years when I had a real job, quote unquote real job, and studied at Second City and graduated from Second City there.
Did Pope Leo take any classes from you?
No.
No?
How rad would that have been, though?
I know.
I hear, and I was like, he's putting a good word in with for the Cubbies.
Yes.
Bet so.
I think he's White Sox, isn't he?
Yeah, probably because he's South Side.
Yeah.
I bet so.
That's
It doesn't
exactly
matter. I feel like if you're Pope, you can't just let everybody win.
I'm guessing he ran track at Villanova.
He did? Did he?
I'm guessing.
Why was that a guess?
I don't know. I haven't
Okay.
done the research on it, but I would say
Very bold statement.
Bold guess.
I'll look it up and I'll
Okay.
get back to you on that one
Okay,
tomorrow
tell me
morning.
tomorrow.
You watch, he's
Yeah.
going to be like 100% right, too.
Yeah, I know. Like,
Well, no, that's when
Yeah.
Jumbo Elliott was coach there.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
That's,
Yeah.
Marty LaCory was there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't know these people.
Yeah.
This is how I feel in your shoes when we say Bob Seger.
Yeah.
I'm like, totally.
Yeah.
No idea.
I mean, these are legends in the running.
Yeah, Jumbo Elliott was the head coach at Villanova and one of the best coaches at the time.
I feel like with running knowledge, I feel
It's
I don't know. Like my brain is invested in like weirdos, like Keith Morrison and Bob Seger and these people, and then running people. I have no idea.
Yeah. What I noticed about you have two different sides. You have an artistic side that dominates, and then you have the number side.
Yeah.
It's the pennies and dimes and nickels, and
Oh,
that's
I didn't
very
even think about that.
right. And running tends to be that way when you're doing training.
Totally.
And you're coaching.
Yep.
So you need to have that right brain going there, and the left brain is so. It's
Yeah, it's a good balance, and I feel like I can notice when one is overtaking, and so then I need to just like bring in more like creativity, or I need to dial it in and like focus a little bit.
Yeah.
So
But there's generally not a whole lot of people that have success in both areas.
yeah,
Like it's supposed to be a compliment, but
I take it as that.
right.
Thanks.
It's like the who is it? I forget the guy's name. The guitars for lead guitars for Queen.
Oh,
May is his last name?
we should know this.
Yeah, no, we should know this.
We
But
should know this.
What, he has his PhD in astrophysics.
Does he?
Yes.
Wow.
And he's the lead guitarist for Queen.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So when he got done, he quit his education to be working in Queen.
yeah.
Then when he got done and he was sitting around the house, he said, I'm going to finish my PhD. And no one gave a crap
What?
that he was in Queen.
Wow.
They treated him just like a regular student. So he went back and got
That's cool.
his PhD after, like, he's pretty successful, right?
Wow.
Living in a mansion in England.
yeah.
And he went back and it had something to do with the Doppler effect up in space and all this kind of stuff. Space, what is it? Dust. Stardust. Like the beginnings of the universe.
Wow.
And he also ran cross country in high school.
No.
I just made that
Oh,
up.
it was like for Villanova.
At
He ran at Villanova.
He ran at Villanova.
We're starting so many rumors.
Yes.
Like, yeah, lead guitarist of Queen ran with the Pope at
Villanova.
Yes.
It's true.
For
Well,
sure.
You heard it here first.
Yeah.
My other
Fact
daughter's
check.
my other daughter's college coach at Oregon State, he was a big star at Villanova.
Ah.
So I know a few
So
people
he
there.
definitely
Carrie
ran with the
Tolson.
Yeah.
Oh, was she at Villanova?
Yes, she was.
All right.
There's
Yes.
a lot of weird running links. I mean, for us, we run with the Aggies. Joe's the head coach. One, probably the most famous member of the Aggies for a short term, Dana Carvey.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stop.
So that was
Garth.
yes. And
Church lady.
You know who
Oh.
Garth? You know who Garth is?
No.
Scott Carvey.
Please tell me it's
Scott
you.
Carvey.
I don't know who that is.
That's Dana's brother.
Oh.
He's playing his brother.
Amazing.
It is without. So Scott is a drummer in our band.
In your band?
Yeah, the club band.
You play all.
No, I don't play in the band. It's,
Oh, it was like
it's
you're just
a
throwing
running
out
club.
all of these. Okay, I get it.
You know, and Robin Williams ran
They
track.
were the lead band at Villanova.
At Villanova. Yeah, Robin
No,
Williams. ran
Robin
at Villanova.
Robin Williams made the state meet in California State meet in the 4x400.
Really?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was really good. And then I mean, there's a lot. So the really nutty.
Yeah.
There's something about distance running and nutty people.
Oh, I'm. You heard it here. I'm a certified weirdo for sure. As we're talking and you're saying all of this, I'm like, oh, I can imagine. What if like the Pope and Dana Carvey and Robin Williams are all holding hands and they're running together?
Oh,
and
no,
I was
is
like,
this a
that's
new
going to be
piece
my
of
next
art?
piece of art. That's where my brain is going
Yes.
right now. 100%.
Which is fantastic. So I was at the New Balance indoor meet with my friend Dave Frank, and we were talking with Mark Coogan, and he's the coach for the New Balance team. So he coaches like Parker Valby and
Oh wow.
and all these he's the top coach for Boston, for New Balance Boston.
Oh, okay.
He's a big deal.
Yeah.
So he
Never
comes
heard of
over
him.
to us and he goes, Dana Carvey, he goes, I got outkicked by that bastard Bob Kennedy at Nationals, and I came up to you guys, and there's Dana Carvey, and I go, that's Dana Carvey. And then Parker Valby walks by, and he grabs her and goes, these guys are with Dana Carvey.
She has no idea.
And she goes, what,
She has
coach?
no idea.
He goes, the church lady,
She has no idea.
like Wayne's World.
Nope, she has
She
no
goes,
idea.
Coach, I have no idea what you're talking about.
She's too much of a little baby to
I
know that
it
reference.
was funny, though, but he was so excited.
I would be. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he was a steeplechaser.
And Coogan,
Okay.
obviously a legend in the coaching space.
In the running space, too.
And
He
when
was
the
a hell
running-
of a runner.
Right, back
Yeah.
in the day. And now that's kind of became a big part of your career right now. How is that coaching? Are you mainly doing trail coaching? Do you do all types of coaching?
All types of coaching. Yeah, it's quite random. My coaching is about as random as my life. Now that we've discovered. So I have my middle school team in Denver. I've got them for cross country and track. I have a lot of Disney runners, which is
Nice.
fun. I offer free costume consultation.
Nice.
And I've got just kind of the gamut. More road marathoners. I have several that are like Boston qualifiers. I don't really do any sub-elite or elite. I feel like it's so interesting. I feel like that's where I was, and when I started to just get so obsessive about running, I feel like there's like this pocket of when you're chasing goals and you're getting really good, I suppose. I don't like using that word, but whatever. And you just get like a little bit too crazy with it. That's not my jam. I'm more like here to help with how can I teach you the basics of running? How can we clean up your form? How can I help you enjoy it more? So it's kind of, it's word of mouth. I'll kind of just take anybody that's just kind of looking for my vibe. It's weird. Yeah, and you get a theme each week.
Wow.
But it helps me so much. It helps me stay creative because whatever I'm passing along in my coaching, I'm practicing myself. So it gives me a reason to, like yesterday on the trails, I made this pink playlist. So it's all about the color pink. So that's not just Pink the artist. Like Pink Aerosmith song is on there, obviously.
Pink Floyd?
Of course, Pink Floyd. Money is 6 minutes long, so that'll get you up a while. Pink
You know
Pony
who these
Club.
people are, huh?
Oh.
Pink Floyd?
Come on.
Yeah, you threw that. That was a good reference.
got you.
I probably threw like one Bob Seger on there. Anyway, long story short is that then I pass along that playlist to my runners because I give them like, this week your theme is pink, and just try to like help make it more fun and use what I've learned in my approach to running and share that with other people. So I've really, really enjoyed getting to coach people in different races and just like extend the joy of running. Yeah.
Does your joy of Disney extend to movies as well? The Disney movies?
Of course it does.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
What kind of
your
question
Yeah,
is
what
that?
kind of
Well,
question?
what's your opinion of the new Snow White?
Well, I haven't seen it yet.
You can't comment.
I can't comment on that.
Okay.
I haven't seen it yet.
Okay.
I can comment on the new Cruella. Big fan.
Yeah.
The new Mufasa. Excellent.
Okay.
But there's some that like we might need to just
Forget
not
about.
do remakes. So that's why I'm a little nervous about the new Snow White.
Yeah.
I haven't heard great things about that one.
I've heard good things about the soundtrack. I
Yes.
haven't heard good things about the movie.
Exactly. Now, this isn't exactly a tie-in here, but have you ever watched The Wizard of Oz with the sound off and do it in conjunction with Dark Side of the Moon?
No.
You don't know this. You're too young. See, you're too
Okay.
young, and do you even know what I'm talking about?
I actually, weirdly enough, I do know what you're talking about.
So if you, this is something that would be right up your alley.
Amazing. Okay, I love this.
So you get a copy of The Wizard of Oz,
Yes.
the original.
Uh-huh.
On the third lion roar at the start,
Okay.
you start The Dark Side of the Moon, side one,
Okay.
and it is effing freaky.
Okay.
It is freaky. Like
Okay.
it's like you're watching it, and it coincides. Like you're watching. Oh my
And
god!
so is this coincidence?
I'm thinking it probably isn't. I think the Pink Floyd guys actually did this
No,
on
you
purpose. There's no way. You listen to this whole thing, you go, holy crap. Holy
Okay.
shit.
All right. This is going to be my homework.
do it.
All right.
It's I don't know.
There's no words.
Yeah.
There's just no words.
I just love how fired up you are about
Yeah.
it.
No,
Like-
it's
like,
well,
This
no.
is.
This is something for you to do.
I appreciate it.
Yeah,
I
and then
need
you-
more to do, so I appreciate that.
They
a
give you
lot.
something else on your.
Yeah,
It's
that'd
not,
be great.
it's not like you're
Your plate.
busy with a kid and a career and running and
Coaching,
Coaching.
art, making real. I got it. Well, I first had to make
Finding
my
pennies.
weird art.
Yeah.
Finding pennies. Yeah.
Well, let's talk about the running with the kid because that is
Yeah.
definitely going to.
That's a whole different
That's a
ballgame.
whole new world.
Oh my gosh.
How do you balance the being a new mother, running all these miles? Like, how do you do it all?
I'm figuring it out. So Hugo's only 3.5 months.
I love the name.
Thank you. Yeah, he's our little monkey. So I don't know. I'm figuring it out, and this is also why I picked the Broken Arrow Ascent because I didn't want to rush back to training.
Yeah.
I had a C-section, so I had to take like the full 6 weeks off, which I think. C-section or not, I'm like that. I would have taken that amount of time off. Your body is just wrecked, so I picked the Ascent also because it's just shorter distance, and I did it. So I stopped running at 5 months pregnant because it wasn't fun. Like when your job is to get faster, and every single day you're getting slower. And
It's
bigger,
not fun.
It's not fun. So
No.
I was like, I just didn't want to force myself to run, and I hope that anybody listening that feels like they need permission to not run when you're pregnant, please just. Don't run if it's not making you happy. I'm running shorter mileage, just steeper. But when I was not running during pregnancy, I was hiking a ton with my big old belly because I was like, oh, well, this is still.
And it's strength training.
It was like so, and I really enjoyed it. So I was like, now I can just like go back to running and just do really steep stuff. A little bit faster, but it's a little bit easier in terms of timing. I don't have to be out for big long miles right now. Like he does great, and he does amazing with Justin, my husband, who's outrageously supportive of helping me get out and run and find our time that we can do that. But it is that balance, and I don't want to be out for long hours yet for my body, but also just for like being away from Hugo for long amounts of time right now because he's so little. So I'm figuring it out, but making it work. And it just, I don't know. I just feel like I'm in such a good groove with running. I'm like loving it, loving being a mom. We'll see what it's like getting back to racing, but right now it's just like awesome having kind of both.
Right. And I guess for other like mothers out there, like they're like you can definitely keep going. Like you don't that's not the end. Like you
my
can
God.
continue on.
Yeah. So I thought seriously in 2020, I ran trials and then I thought, okay, I've got 4 years. I'm going to just go balls out. I'm going to hit this hard, try to make the team in 2024. And then as soon as that happens, I retire. Because that's what you do. Like back then, even just a few years ago, that's where my mind was at, was that you become a mom and that's it. That's like, you don't get to come back. Like, and people were getting dropped from their sponsors, like even just a few years ago when they were pregnant, or salary reductions, but now, like you mentioned earlier, we've got like Kira who's crushing it. Jess McLean is like moms, and it's the coolest, most inspiring thing. So you got the moms that are crushing it, and then you've got the, even I would say, older generation, like thinking about Des, thinking about Courtney DeWalter, that are in their 40s and crushing it still, and that they're masters. But I'm like, you're still running like 225,
Right?
Like absurd. So it's really cool. I just think, and then North Face re-signed me at 9 months pregnant for another few years, which is just cool. So it's just like, I think there's a whole new space for moms as runners, and you've got this whole new arsenal of toughness. I mean, when you are pregnant and you become a mom, you know what actual discomfort is, and you know what actual like pain is, you know what things being out of your control is. So I just feel like I've got a lot more perspective right now that I'm real pumped to channel in racing and kind of see what happens with it. Just because I've got this under my belt now. And I've had the time off from running, that it's fun to get back in shape, and it's fun to remember why I love running so much, because I, took 6 months off, which was the longest since I was little that I took off. And it comes back. Like, It really does. And I'm just like, I feel like because of that, I'm also just loving it more than anything right now.
And also, running isn't the thing, the
No,
only thing.
It's not.
You got Hugo, you got your husband.
Oh,
you
and
know,
that's it. That's
and
all
if you
you
miss a
need.
run, it's not that
Doesn't
big of
matter.
a deal.
Nope. It doesn't matter anymore. Like, it's just like, I don't know. And I just want him, like, and I think about him a lot on the trails or whatever I'm doing, if it's a hard workout or whatever it is. And I just am, you know, like, I want to just do my best, and I want him to be proud of me. And so, like, I'll just do my best, and that's the best I can do. Where it used to be my end all be all and panic attack in Austria and all of that garbage.
Belly button exploded.
Kittens with belly buttons, yeah. when I was pregnant, people were joking, like, is that an actual baby or is it just a belly full of kittens? No, Grayson, it's not. Let me guess, that happened to your cat.
Oh man. Well, I mean, that's all I got for you. I mean, it's been fun because, I mean, I think when we talked about having you in, what we were so excited about was you're not just a runner. You've got so many different, really interesting components to you.
Thanks.
And yeah, I mean, it's been fun.
Thank
It's
you.
been fantastic. I mean,
Well, thanks. I
love
appreciate
love
it.
this stuff.
Thanks.
Yeah.
It's fun. I think it's like, I don't know, people listening, like, go be your weird self. I think the more I've kind of stepped into, like, I don't have to just be a runner. When I started my road career, that was definitely my vibe. Like, I had comedy-ish in there, but I was like, this is who I am this runner. And then the universe was like, nope, you're not.
Sorry, lady.
Sorry. Yeah, but it's been awesome. So, and I think it all puts things in perspective. It keeps things really fun and fresh on all areas. So,
You've been awesome.
well, thanks. I appreciate
For
it.
people out there who maybe want to follow your story, maybe get involved in some coaching, where can they find you?
Oh boy, just jump on thefunnyrunner.com.
Okay.
All my weird stuff is on there. My art, my pennies, my coaching,
Okay.
my oh god, like everything's on there. And then my daily, or like my kind of day-to-day stuff is at funnyrunner26.2 on Instagram. I'm an old lady, as we've discovered, so I am only
think
on Instagram.
You're not an old lady.
No. You should ask my husband. I'm 100% old lady at heart. Yeah. Anyway,
No, you're
where
an
I was
old
going.
man.
I'm an old man.
There-
100%.
Okay, you're old man.
I'm an old man. So I only have one form of social media, and it's Instagram.
Okay.
So none of this TikTok,
Yeah.
none of this
Yeah.
Snapchat garbage. No, just Instagram.
Old school.
Yeah,
Okay.
old school.
Yeah.
Old school Instagram. You know.
I'm
You're
with
probably
you.
on Facebook.
Yeah.
Well, I'm still on Facebook. Yeah. I start there and I move on.
Yeah, perfect.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to do the Instagram just to keep track of my kids.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Kids these days.
That's
you know?
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But when they really want to do their stuff, they put on stuff that I don't even know what they're talking about.
I know.
Yeah.
I don't get it either. And like these middle school kids that I coach, it's a whole new like lingo. I don't even know what they're talking about.
Yeah, I don't either, but whatever.
Whatever.
Yeah, maybe you can return my phone call, kid. Yeah.
yeah.
You'll get there one day.
Like, I feel like I'm probably close to being there. Yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you very much.
Oh my gosh.
It's
Thank
been a
you guys.
pleasure.
This is awesome.
Cool.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
What do the people have to do?
Well, people need to they got to comment, and they got to subscribe, really get the algorithm
Oh, yeah.
going. And, I think we did promise on the last episode we were going to
give a pair of shoes?
We'll save that to the next episode.
Yeah, we
'cause
keep just saying this every episode.
We're just going to keep pushing it a little bit.
It feels
but
very bait and switchy.
Is our next podcast, do we have another guest?
we do, and we have a big guest
well,
for the next one, too.
the guest's name was mentioned during this podcast.
It was.
Is that? So there you have
Yeah.
it.
Keith Morrison.
Keith Morrison.
Stop.
Yes.
Okay.
Bob Seger. Okay.
I'm
we
going
said everything.
to do the big reveal. It's actually the Pope.
Stop it.
The Pope's coming.
The villain of a track star himself.
Yes.
Yes.
What?
He's going to be here.
Oh.
Yeah, stay tuned.
Yeah.
Hey, Leo, we're calling you up. That's right. Yeah, we saw the white smoke.
He's got time. Talk about somebody who's got time on their
He's
hands.
got time.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. He's got to save us
He's
from
probably
ourselves.
just watching Wizard of Oz on silent
Yeah.
right now.
And waiting for the
He's
third
just
roar.
like, what time is my podcast interview? Yeah.
Cool. Well, thanks again.
Thanks, guys.
All right, we'll see you in the morning.
Sounds good.
Cool. Peace out.
Peace out.